we're on to the next flight, which is the Summer Wells case. Another 5-year-old missing from Tennessee. You may recall she's was reported missing by her family this summer in July. So, what happened this week, this little update, is similar to in the Delphi case. When you see people come out and talking about a case that doesn't have any movement, you wonder why they're talking. So there were 2 officials who have been on speaking about the case, not saying anything is moving, but just that they're still very invested in the case. They're still looking for Summer, that they think Summer is nearby. If you are on YouTube and you follow Chris McDonough of The Interview Room, Chris has been like a dog with a bone. He has not let go of this case. He is a retired investigator from California who worked in child crimes. He knows a lot about these type of things, and he also does retirement work with Cold Case Foundation. Now, this is not part of the Cold Case, but he is really kept up to date with what's going on in the Summer Wells case. It is interesting. You can go check out his playlist about it. This week he talked to Mary. Mary is the father of Summer's stepsister, and she was SA'd by Don, she claims, allegedly, in Utah, and Utah doesn't have a statute of limitations, so that is still an active investigation. They talked to Mary and her sister, or Chris did, from the beginning of this, because there was also a weird little interesting factor that there was the mother of Summer, who reported her missing, Candace, had a sister who had gone missing in a different state in Wisconsin, different circumstances. But so the family has been interviewed because, you know, everybody was like, oh, this is weird. The second time in a case, no, Rose was an adult, Summer is 5. But what was interesting about Mary's interview with Chris McDonough on The Interview Room this week was that she mentioned that when the parents of Summer, Candace and Don Wells, went to California from Tennessee to go to be on Dr. Phil to talk about the case, that when they flew back, they made a stop and saw the family in Utah, which in and of itself, I guess, isn't that weird. But Mary mentioned that they went out into the mountains somewhere, and they said they were going to a memorial for Summer, or creating a memorial for Summer, which is, as she points out, weird, because Summer grew up in Tennessee and she was taken from Tennessee. And like Mary said, when someone's missing or has been unalived somewhere, we, like, alongside the road, you see memorials there. Or like with what is happening with Naomi Arion, they put a memorial at the Walmart where she was taken from, and then where she was found. So why Utah, and why up in the mountains? So the only thing I can think of, and I am not sure, this is complete conjecture, complete speculation, but when we first heard about this, there was some talk of, after Summer had been reported missing and all this stuff was happening, the grandmother who was living on the property I think she went back to Utah. Now, I am not sure if this is exactly right, but at first she was not available for comment. Not immediately after, but I mean, like, in the weeks after, when they're looking for Summer. We heard that people call her Grandis because it's Candace's mother and it's Summer's grandmother. So, and then somebody mentioned that maybe she came back in a van that was a little slightly different from the one she went there in. I don't know if that is true, but again, we're in the land of theory and supposition. But if, and Chris McDonough also mentioned that he thought it was an accident, perhaps. Like everybody, of all the things that could happen, the family, Don Wells and the mom were saying somebody came and took her. Somebody came if she was abducted. And this week, the men in charge, the two local law enforcement, said, like, they think she is close to home. Like, they don't think she could have been abducted, and they're not ruling that out. But that's not their primary theory right now. And putting this all together, one wonders, did, the day she went missing, she was supposedly, they went swimming. And Summer didn't really swim, but it was hot, and there was a swimming hole. And the mom was there talking, chatting with a neighbor friend. Could Summer, and the boy mentioned that Summer went under the water for a second. He grabbed her and pulled her up, and she was fine, he said. Now, there was talk about dry drowning, which is you have an almost drowning, then later on, the moisture in your lungs, it still leads you to drown, even though you're on dry land. Did she drown? Is that what happened? And if so, was she somehow put someplace, and then was she taken home to Utah, and is that why there's a memorial? Is that why Candace and Don wanted to stop? If that's true, that would mean this is a horrible accident with a very bad lie that was expensive, obviously, but is that even a possibility? And if so, it would just be a horrible tragedy all around. People who didn't watch their child close enough in water, and it can happen to anybody, and we're not saying Candace is a bad person, but we do know there was a lot of substance abuse issues and perhaps neglect in the home. And when you're poverty stricken, again, as a society, we look at people and want to blame them. Oh, they didn't take care of their kid. They were screw-ups. And we do know that social services was, like, the next day was going to take the kids. I mean, they were on the radar. They did. The thing is, our society's issues aren't just individual people's issues. All the crime, all the substance abuse. We see these things when there are other social ills. And maybe if we took care of some of the basics and, shored up some of basic stuff, instead of just expecting everybody to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, maybe we would have less horrific crime. I'm just saying. Label me a liberal lady. It just seems that this beautiful child is no longer with us, and I can only surmise, unfortunately, that maybe it was an accident. That's what it's looking like right now. I think somebody who does deep dives, like Linda, hi Linda, could look into that timing of when Candace left. Did she leave? Grandis, sorry. I mean, and the thing is, it's all horrific. It's horrific when a child dies. It's just awful. All right, flight's over. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy. Hopefully this is able to be segmented into the separate flights. That was the last flight of episode 8. Hi. If you liked this flight of episode 8's True Crime Grapevine, please put something in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons. You know how to do all the YouTube-y things, and I will see you with new flights next Tuesday. Bye.